Long ago, there was a lush green valley known as Hill Valley. It was famous far and wide for its beauty. Endless fields swayed with crops, a sparkling river cut through the land like a ribbon of silver, and the tall trees offered cool shade where birds filled the air with their songs. To live there felt like living in a paradise on earth. The people of Hill Valley were simple, hardworking, and full of joy. They stood by one another in good times and bad, living with honesty and love for the land that fed them. The valley was ruled by King Hayden and Queen Emily. They were not only kind and just rulers, but also deeply loved by their people. Injustice and cruelty never touched their court, and the subjects loved them like parents. Their greatest joy was their only son, Prince Adrian. Adrian was not like ordinary princes who carried pride in their blood. He had inherited his father's kindness and his mother's warmth. Often he would leave the splendor of the palace and walk among the common people. Sometimes he played with the village children in the dirt without caring for royal clothes. Sometimes he sat with farmers and listened to their worries, and other times he shared tea with the shopkeepers in the market. Everyone treated him like a friend, and he too felt at home among them. The queen would often remind him, "My son, wearing a crown is easy, but ruling hearts is the true kingship." Adrian treasured these words and carried them in his heart. From childhood, Adrian's marriage had already been arranged. Following family tradition, he was betrothed to his cousin Clara, the daughter of his uncle. Clara was breathtakingly beautiful, her charm admired by everyone. But her beauty became her pride. She treated servants harshly, looked down on others, and constantly sought admiration. Whenever Adrian saw this, his heart grew heavy. He would gently tell her, "Clara, true beauty is the beauty of the heart. A face may fade with time, but character lives forever." Clara would laugh scornfully and reply, "The world bows to beautiful faces. All else is nothing more than comfort for the weak." Adrian would fall silent. Deep down, he longed for a partner who could win hearts with kindness, but Clara's arrogance stood like a wall between them. In the same valley lived a girl named Ella. She was the daughter of a milk seller. Each morning she rose with her mother, milked their cows, and carried clay pots of milk door to door. She had no silks or jewels to adorn herself, but her face was always lit with a smile. Her words were sweet, her heart tender, and her nature full of love. People admired her because she was always ready to help, sitting beside the sick, comforting the grieving, and even giving milk at a lower price to the poor. Her simplicity and compassion won her a place in everyone's heart. Time passed, and soon came the grand annual fair, the most awaited event in Hill Valley. That day, every street glowed with lanterns, markets overflowed with colors and fragrances, and people from far and near gathered to celebrate. Clara, determined to prove her superiority, spent days preparing. She adorned herself with glittering jewelry, wore a golden gown, and rehearsed her dance over and over before the mirror. When the night of the fair arrived, the whole valley gathered under the sparkling lights. Drums beat, torches flared, and laughter filled the air. Clara stepped onto the stage, dazzling in her attire. Every eye turned toward her. Her steps were graceful, her movements carefully measured, but in them arrogance glimmered. People clapped, but their hearts remained untouched. In one corner, Ella was laughing with the village children. As the music played, she too began to dance. Not on a stage, not in a gown of gold, but in her simple dress, her face glowing with joy. There were no jewels on her, only sincerity in her movements. And yet, as she spun and laughed, it seemed as though happiness itself had come alive. Children burst into laughter, the elders were spellbound, and soon every gaze rested upon her. Adrian saw everything. The contrast between Clara's pride-filled performance and Ella's pure, heartfelt dance etched itself into his soul. He realized at that moment that true beauty is the kind that touches hearts and spreads joy. Clara's sparkle was temporary, but Ella's simplicity carried a light that could never fade. As time went on, Clara's pride became her burden. People grew distant from her, and her laughter began to sound hollow. Ella, on the other hand, grew dearer to everyone with her humility and kindness. Even King Hayden and Queen Emily recognized that she was the true companion for their son, the one who could join hearts instead of seeking only admiration. And so, Adrian and Ella's story became the tale passed down through the generations of Hill Valley. The people would say, "Pride isolates, but humility binds hearts. Beauty fades, but character lives forever."